as a pistol, cool as a homemade sin.
It's one of those situations where no introduction is really necessary when you got Jim Byrnes in the house at Steele and Vance.
I would just like to say that I can dance only like Elaine from Seinfeld, but the only kind of music that really makes me feel like moving around is that kind of music and your music. And I told you this last time we met, but when I was a 19-year-old BCIT broadcasting student, I was a big fan of yours, used to go to Gastown and see you at the Savoy. Hold my little tape recorder in and asked you in the intermission if you would do an interview. Super scared, and we stood in a closet, and you entertained this dumbass 19-year-old asking you stupid questions. So I feel like you're like a musical icon. I'm curious to know, do you get kind of shy around any others, or do you have any musical icons of your own, or are you so high up in the ether there?
Well, not that I'm high up in the ether. I just realized that, you know, the whole cult of celebrity is something that's wasted on me, okay?
Yeah.
We're just folks, right? Mm-hmm. And back in those days, when you asked me, so this gorgeous 6-foot-tall blonde asked me if I could, you know, so I could barely talk.
You're like, sure, sure.
It's like, oh my God, Jim Byrnes said yes.
No, it's funny. I mean, like working on, like back when we were doing Wise Guy. I mean, worked with Jerry Lewis was on the show, and Kevin Spacey, but he was just making his you know, his
name
bones at that point.
Yeah.
But some of the people you work with, you know, these big actors. But the only one, there was a guy named Leo V. Gordon, who played bad guys in all the old westerns, and he was the only guy that I was on set with. Can I get your autograph? I mean, I'm not really into autographs and stuff. It was just, but he was like, I remember, you know, being 9 years old watching him be the bad guy on the Lone Ranger.
Right, it's exciting.
It hits you in your heart.
Yeah,
it does. It does. There's so many ways we could go with your storytelling. Our interactions have been as colleagues in radio. I would listen to you on the radio, teaching me. I feel like I went to the University of Blues listening to you. Tell us just one of those stories that to tell somebody who perhaps doesn't know much about blues why it is what you love.
Well, you know, a big part of it is where I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and the music was there. I mean, it was from the time I was a kid. I mean, you could listen to Patti Page, or you could listen to T-Bone Walker.
Right,
and I, you know, and that when I was like, I guess it was 9 or 10, you know, I was a boy soprano, if you can believe that. We sang with the choir.
I did not know that. You were a soprano.
In the choir.
Yeah, we sang in the church choir, and we did a Christmas interfaith choir. Okay, so we were from Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Guess which faith that was, and we sang this, you know, like Gregorian chant, beautiful music, and I had a little solo and stuff. And then there was an Episcopalian or Anglican, as the, you know, choir, and there was a Lutheran choir, and there was a missionary Baptist church, you know, with the Reverend Cleophas Robinson.
Wow.
And so we got to the end of that, and Mom and Dad were there. What was it like? I said, wow, it was fantastic. All the music was great, but their God is still alive.
Oh. Right? So, like, you're an American.
Well, I'm a dual citizen.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll own them. We'll keep them.
Oh yeah, this is home.
We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about all these events you have coming up. But I was thinking when I was reading about you, I mean, you were drafted for Vietnam, right? Mm-hmm. Did you actually go?
Yes, I did.
And so now, when we're seeing what's going on around the world, in Israel and in Ukraine, what are your thoughts?
You know, here's a little story. It's coming, not to make fun of this, but so this guy from the Midwest, typical American, Peoria, Illinois. They're on a bus tour in Jerusalem, and they go to the Western Wall, and they see this throng of people, and they're bowing, and they're putting pieces of paper on the wall. And he says to his wife, he says, I got to find out what's going on here. So this one guy's walking away. This guy's dressed like it's winter in Poland in the 19th century with a big fur hat. And he says, excuse me, sir, I really don't mean to be rude, but we're here visiting, and I was watching. What are you doing? And I says, well, I'm a rabbi, and I'm here to pray. I have come to this very spot every day since 1967 when this sacred ground was returned to us. I go, holy cow, 67 years, whatever, that's unbelievable. He says, what do you pray for? He says, in the morning I pray for peace on the earth. At noon I pray for an end to starvation. I pray that every child in the world will be fed. And in the evening I pray that men of goodwill, men of philosophy, men of science find cures for all the ills and to plague us and bring us together as one. I said, God, that's deep. How does that make you feel? It's like talking to a brick wall.
Oh. Right? Can I just follow up the Vietnam thing? Did that stay with you in any way?
Oh, well, yes, of course. I mean, I still have friends that I'm still in touch with, and guys that I wish I were in touch with that are gone. And
were you like infantry? What did you do?
yeah.
Really?
When we have fireworks down, I try to get out of the neighborhood.
Because it freaks you out?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know
I
know everything's okay, but there's something about this sound that still, I feel like our dog.
Yeah, right. You need one of those little thunder jackets to sort of calm you. Wow.
So you've got a number of things that we want to talk to you about. Certainly we'll get to the music piece and talk about some of the acting that you're doing as well, but also some of the charitable works that you're doing, I think. Let's put that up front.
Okay, so we're doing there's a couple of charities. The one on the Sunday afternoon, we're going to be at St. John's, Shaughnessy, the United Church, okay. Reverend Pittman Porter is a good friend of mine, lives in our same building, and he got me in on this. And I mean, now this doesn't sound like it's the West Side Anglican Ministry, which the West, come on, give me a break.
Right.
But there are homeless all over the city, the West Side too, and they run a program at 17th and Dunbar for these hard to house people, and mental pain. And so it's a very real community based thing. So there's that.
Yep.
And then we're doing the big show on the 21st at the what do they call it now? The Center for Performing Arts.
Arts.
The Ford Theater.
Yes.
Garth Drabinsky's.
That one.
Yeah.
The big one.
Anyway, which is a nicer. But this, I call it Geezer Palooza. Okay? Because
Hey, wait.
hey, listen, I just turned 75 years old.
75.
Just like happy
How do you
birthdays
feel?
are in
you
order.
good?
Yeah. Some days I'm not as strong as I used to be, and I feel fine.
You make it look
Yeah.
good, my friend. You make it look good.
But this is F cancer.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
And so go to, and it's Prism, Trooper, Loverboy, Powder Blues, Bill Henderson from Chilliwack.
Oh my God! Are all of these amazing people and you too?
Yeah, Colin
is
James
that?
and I.
21st of October.
Colin James and I are going to do a little blues segment. So there'll be plenty of great music. And there's a silent auction, there's a live auction, there's all sorts of stuff going on, and all the proceeds are earmarked for cancer research, very specific cancer research. So,
October 21st. If
October
you're like,
21st.
when? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
October 21st.
If you're, I know this is Victoria Station, but there's a lot of people here.
Okay, we're in Vancouver here.
Well, I know, but still, and that's something. Before we get any further, I love CHEK TV. Okay.
So do we.
Yeah, no, honestly, I mean,
Feeling.
we've all been in situations with Bell and Chorus and Shaw and Roger, and we've been lost in the shuffle. Okay, and so when they were going to go off air, the people at the station, put it together and got people in the community, and I just love the way. And I did a show of the Case Hammer's Kitchen, which was on last weekend. Michael Case Hammer has folks over, and we play music and cook a meal in his kitchen.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, and my show, they'll be showing them again. But anyway, CHEK TV.
North America's only employee-owned media outlet.
It's very cool.
It's
Before
very
we let
cool.
you go,
Yes.
you're also going to be seen on Lifetime.
Yes.
Yep.
And this is the Murdoch Murder?
Murdoch Murders.
Murdoch Murders, a Southern tragedy, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are so many, but it's it's based on a true
With Bill
story. Yeah,
Pullman?
Bill Pullman. And when we did this, I talked to Bill. We had our scenes together, and we hit it off really well. But I said, man, you've got a lot of guts. Because I mean, as an actor, you don't become this guy.
Yeah.
But you have to go some pretty dark, because this guy was off the wall.
This is the story of the Murdoch who's killed his wife and son and
lied about
everything. And he was like the most powerful lawyer in town.
In South Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's
quite the thing.
It's quite, South Carolina. This funny story. There was a guy named James Byrnes, spelled the same as me and everything. And he was Secretary of State under Harry S. Truman. He was a Supreme Court, and he had been the governor of South Carolina. So we're going back, this would have been like 1967. I was in a band called the Contenders, and we were in South Carolina. It was two white guys and two black guys, and we got pulled over by the police. And I thought, boy, this is going to be, you know.
Yeah.
And the guy, and I was not even driving. We had a rented car, and I gave him my license, which was Missouri, but he saw my name. And he said, "Get that taillight fixed." And just like that,
there you go.
because the name at that time. I mean, luckily this was an old cop.
Yeah.
And this is a long time ago, but he remembered. Like the guy had been Mr. South Carolina.
Yeah.
And same thing. This family, the Murdoch, was like you mentioned their name, and anything goes.
Right.
Yeah.
And
until now.
Yeah.
And then Bill Pullman has to wear the face of
right. Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but I really thought, I said, man, you've
taken it on.
The courage to take this on.
Jim, what's your website? Because anybody was going, oh my gosh, I want to go to that. I want to see this.
JimByrnes.ca. Okay.
Simple.
Byrnes with a Y.
Yeah. Byrnes, the Irish.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jim Byrnes.
You have to come back because clearly we
can
did
talk
not have
all
enough
day.
time.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Good.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're so welcome.
Cheers.
Love your
You
music.
didn't even get a
Cheers.
sip of your wine.
Well, now you can have a
going
sip.
in. There you go.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Jim Byrnes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh my goodness.
Perfect.
Okay, you know what else we're happy about? Our viewing party photos. And you were busy last week when you sent them in. You could send them to our email or to our Twitter. And we've got
Deb and Joe and Asoyos.
Hi guys. And we have Mary and George. Hi George.
And we also have Pedro. That's Pedro the cat.
Pedro the cat.
They
right
kind of
there.
look the same, those two cats.
They kind of do.
All right. We will take your viewer party photos.
Yep.
And still ahead, as if there isn't already enough intolerance in the world. Now the NHL is banning players from using pride tape in warm-ups. What the hell is wrong with people?
Yeah. We're
It's
going to
coming
get
up
mad about
next.
that next. Oh man.